Hello, my name is Carmen. I'm a Twitch VTuber and I'm also a book lover. I read horror, dark fiction, and mystery. As always, I'm open to suggestions, so please post your recommendations in the comments. Last week, I didn't record a wrap up video. With work, gaming, life in general, I just didn't read as much as I wanted to. I had books that I was working on, but I didn't quite finish them. This past week, much of the US had winter storms. I also had a big winter storm here. I took advantage of that time to relax, get caught up on a little reading, do some cooking, and so I do have some books to talk to you about today. I'm going to start by talking about some gaming. As you may or may not know, I live stream video games on Twitch, so I often try out games offline that I may stream later. I also learn the game mechanics so I don't struggle while I'm live. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a very popular game right now and was nominated for Game of the Year. I'm a bit picky about games just because of the price. They're very expensive. And I have been putting off buying this game. There was a sale on the game. I had a gift card, so I decided to buy the game, and it cost me about $20 rather than the price of $80, which is just crazy. Games are $80 now as a standard. I spent about 9 hours playing this game, and I have to say this game is just not for me. The story's great and the cutscenes are beautiful. All of the scenery and the forest and all the buildings, I found them very gorgeous. The music is also very beautiful. It has full voice acting. Those are things I love in video games. What I didn't love was the game mechanics. You start off with nothing and basically have to do everything manually: eat, sleep, sword fight. I would try to pick a quest, and then the game needed me to eat or sleep, but I didn't have any money to get food. Then, when I stole food, I got caught. I would get transported back to another place. I went to one village to get a lockpick. Then I had to go back to another village to pick the lock. I broke the lockpick, but I didn't have any money to get another one. Plus, I was hungry and I didn't have food. I think that's what broke it for me. I like a game where I can go on an adventure and relax, do some questy stuff, maybe fight a few bad guys, go back, turn in my quest, and pick up my money. And this game was just so much of a struggle. So I feel like I gave it 9 hours. That was gave me a good sense that this game just wasn't for me. Game is beautiful, it's historically accurate, and I do understand why people love it, but it's just not the game for me. Next, let's get back to the books. This week I focused on advanced reader copies. The first book I read was The Cove by Claire Rose. I actually won this in a Goodreads giveaway. I showed the cover on a recent book haul video. I really like the cover art for this. This is a YA fiction and it comes out May 5th of this year. Lindsay Weinberg is the typical teen we often see at YA books. She's a poor little rich girl. She's got parents that are absent and have shipped her off to a boarding school, which she's been kicked out of again. It's very much teen angsty, like we typically see. She's sent to her uncle's house in remote Maine. When she gets there, she's greeted by her uncle's wife, which she's never met before, but her family's not very close. She also finds out the property is a home for troubled youth. It's remote in Maine. There's no cell service. It's close to the coast, so what could possibly go wrong? Lindsay soon meets twins from a nearby island that are involved with a cult. Lindsay and her friends go to a party one night, but one of those friends does not come back, and that's where the mystery starts. Yes, this book does have the usual tropes that you see in YA fiction, but I have to admit I did like the book. Lindsay is very sassy, and I found her jokes and her banter with her friends that live at the house, they were very funny. The other residents of the home are very lovable. While there was a bit of a romance in this book, it didn't feel forced like it could feel forced in other books. This was really age appropriate. It didn't have any spice. There is one twist that I could see coming, but it didn't turn out the way I expected. This book was enjoyable for me, and I gave it 4 stars. Next, I listened to an audiobook, The Wretched and Undone by J.E. Weiner. This is an independent author. The audiobook was provided to me by NetGalley. The release date on this is February 5th, 2026, which is very, very soon. What first interested me in this book was the location. It takes place in the hill country of Texas, somewhat close to where I grew up. So I kind of went in with that. I want to see how accurate it is to location. The book starts during the time of the Civil War. Marchin Andervald and his family have settled in Bandera, Texas, having immigrated from Poland. He begins helping take care of camels as a part of an army experiment with using camels to see if they're better suited for the extreme heat of Texas. This is based in fact. Camels were actually imported to Texas. It was abandoned soon thereafter, but I do remember growing up and hearing stories about that the camels had been sighted somewhere and they were descendants of these camels that were originally imported. It's a nice bit of local folklore. This was an epic saga, the Endervald family. It spans over 4 generations. There's a supernatural element in this story as the family sees a shadow spirit and also a woman in white at various times throughout the story. But I think it does take a back seat to the rich stories of the family members. There are jumps in time. So while this book has 4 generations, I didn't get the sense that this book was droning on and on and on. I saw the shadow spirit in the woman in white, not as a curse or protector, which they were portrayed as that, but more as a reflection of the situation at the time. They would show up at key moments in the book. There was so much thought and development in this book that I was surprised that it was coming from a first time independent author. I also liked the voice acting in this. It was the voice actor was great. I look forward to the next book from this author. I gave it 5 beautiful stars. Well, I thank you so much for watching my review of The Cove and The Wretched and Undone, and also for letting me talk about gaming. I don't get to do that very often. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to be notified of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.